Dissent is American. There's nothing more American than us gathering here today. You guys are America. In fact, we all are America, not just some people, all of us. Woo! I want to have a moment of silence for those folks in Minnesota. It's Melissa Hortman and State Senator John Hoffman and Mrs. Hortman's husband as well. It really hurts my heart when I see people taking advantage of the flag and using that as a shield or even a weapon. We are a peaceful people. We come here in peace.
Trump's cuts to social services, over 1,100 crisis line employees will be laid off. Suicide remains the second leading cause of death among veterans under 45 years old. The military bar that you see on my chest belonged to my father. In 1972, my father took his life. I know my father was a sensitive, loving man who saw hundreds of his brothers gunned down by the Germans on the shores of Normandy. I can only imagine the kind of impact that can have on one's psyche. If only there had been a hotline for him.
It's a beautiful day here in the Valley of the Eagles. Really celebrate the Eagles wherever they might be.
Recognize this place?
You know, it's not the same Eagle Preserve that was established in the early 80s because there are all sorts of cuts to the programs that have really made this community what it is. The things that bind us together, of course, are the museum and the library, and the Institute for Museum and Library Services are being eliminated. Exactly. KH&S faces a cut with federal support typically of 30 to 40%. That's right. On top of that, Head Start, a program that we had valued for 50 years in the Chilkat Valley, is going to be unfunded in the future. Threats being made for Social Security phone services. Of course, Nell was talking about veteran services. The EPA canceled all funding for a community change grant that we use for emergencies in our community. Not so good. And what about FEMA? Much FEMA funding is going to be reduced. We don't really like that either, do we? And lands from the BLM, from the Forest Service, those are being put up for sale. Diversity and equity and inclusion among all of our citizens. What is so wrong with that? We stand for good stuff.
1800. This is a song written by Nancy Berlin. It's called No More Eggs. There ain't no telling what he's selling. Convicted felon, ain't no telling. A crypto man working the scam. No out in the deal, only out in the steam. No more eggs, just the poop. Fox News in the chicken coop. There's no more eggs, just the poop. A fox is got in the chicken coop. Fire, flame, and smoke make you choke. Bury the plow and kill the cow. No fertile ground, all swamp now. There's no more eggs, just the poop. There's a fox in the chicken coop. Hate ain't great, ice ain't nice, opposing views ain't fake news. There ain't no telling what he's selling. A convicted felon, there ain't no telling. No more eggs, there's just the poop. When a fox is guarding the chicken coop. No more eggs, just the poop. There's a fox guarding the chicken coop.
That's right.
The preamble to the Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
I've been thinking about the Constitution lately. I'm impressed with the language in the beginning. The we, the people part, where we're supposed to become a more perfect union. Sure doesn't feel very united right now.
We seem to have lost a sense of common values.
We're supposed to establish justice. The Director of Homeland Security even got it completely wrong when asked to define habeas corpus a couple weeks ago. She said the president has all the authority to arrest and deport people, even to foreign countries not their own, when in fact it's the opposite. Habeas corpus actually means everyone gets a chance to defend themselves against detention. They're entitled to due process, as it says in Article 1, Section 9.
And what do you think about that domestic tranquility part? We're not so good at that.
Eyewitnesses in LA are saying the presence of the military is just agitating things and that violence is being done by people not there to protest. Seems like a lot of unrest goes on under this president.
And I wish we were better at promoting the general welfare and blessings of liberty for everyone. Seems like people are even losing their right over their own bodies. Could you imagine that?
It's truly hard to believe. And the First Amendment, that's been really taking a hit this week. I'm grateful to be here and have a chance to say what I think. Do you have friends in other places going to protest today too?
I sure do. There are a lot of them right here.
We're supposed to be able to peaceably assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances. But now even government employees are just supposed to sit down, shut up, and pledge allegiance to the president.
Where in the Constitution is the part about the three branches of government?
Articles 1, 2, and 3. They are the foundations of how our democracy works, having checks and balances so no branch can overpower another. But right now it feels like one person has way too much influence, the president. I'm grateful we have the Constitution to rely on. We use it to affirm no kings. No king!
And all the officials.
Kings.
Congress, please.
Congress, please just do your job. Oh, how I want to be in that number when you finally do your job.
If I were king of the planet, I would wear satin, not cotton, not chintz. All the dweebs bow down and the rubes kowtow. If I were king of the planet, I would call my army to disperse this crowd. Ha 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 ha. Ah, nuts.
Get your little This is the remedy for everything. Dr. Donald Trump, well, honorary doctor, he said this is the answer. If it works for wiping off your table and sterilizing your mail, then it also works if you drink it, if you put it on your body, if you inject it. So just know you don't need any vaccines. You just need Clorox. Thank you.
Vaccines are an issue.
Social media is dangerous, unless you're just hearing from me. Big Brother is talking to you. I mean, Top Dog is talking to you. Just feed them Fox News on little TV sets and out in public squares.
Your feelings on democracy?
Democracy is so cumbersome. Kings get things done.
Do you respect and preserve the Constitution?
Well, sure I do. It's just that there's some parts that were obviously a mistake. Since I'm king, I can just decree all copies of the Constitution burned. Then it just won't exist.
You're being criticized for lack of civility.
So what? I can do whatever I damn well please, you creeps. Somebody must have slipped me a truth serum in my cocktail.
People power! People power! I guess we won't be needing these anymore. Corruption. Hate. Lies. We are using people power to transform ice into lies. People power. Power to the people. Power to the people, right on. Power to the people. Power to the people, right on. Power to the people. Power to the people, right on. When the current president says, "Make America great again," he does not define great in the same way I do. Patriotism in the United States should not be to a person, but to the democratic ideals we've been learning since at least 5th grade. We don't elect a king or even a wannabe king. The actions by this administration, even in the past 4 months, have destabilized our economy, cut life-saving supports from vulnerable people around the world, demonstrated cruelty and a complete disregard for immigrant families, all the while lamenting there are not enough people in the trades, that women aren't having enough babies, and that DEI has resulted in an unskilled workforce. Access to healthcare and medical information, that is on the line. 33% of the children in Haines are on Medicaid, 21% of Haines overall, 17% of seniors. Reduction in coverage will not only impact the families, it jeopardizes the clinic's solvency. The Secretary of Health and Human Services just fired the 17 people who are on the CDC Advisory Committee for Vaccines. This is a man with no science background.
If anyone is old enough to remember polio, before there was mandatory vaccination, my friends, in the hospital in iron lungs dying, and it's completely has been eradicated with mandatory vaccinations, and this man is not for that.
Mandatory can be controversial, but the fact is we're not having access to all the advances in medical care that have been put out there, and now even less so. Websites are being erased. So we can no longer rely on an honest distribution of the results of research. On May 22nd, a report was released that included falsified data verified as not being represented accurately by the authors themselves. We are a country that's supposed to model a nation of United States. As individuals, we're sicker, sadder, hungrier, less educated, and less free. As a country, we're being mocked, pitied, scolded, and left out. So as we ponder the kinds of things going on in the past week, the invasion by the U.S. military of a municipality in a state that did not request the move, we can realize clearly that states' rights are ignored while states' responsibilities increase. We were the first country to designate national parks, and now there are plans in the reconciliation bill to sell off public lands for development. It's said that this would be for housing. Whose do you think it'll be? It's wealthy corporations who will benefit, particularly those that mine resources whose intended use we know will further heat the planet. While this further planet warming is going on, storms, fires, coastal erosion, melting permafrost, and slides are causing massive homelessness and infrastructure damage. But this president says FEMA is out. We know about this agency. And it will be up to states to clean up the mess, even though the states have no say on whether this country joins hundreds of others in seeking adaptation and mitigation regarding climate change. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has played key roles in Alaska's fisheries management and public safety, and now it's experienced massive cuts. Commercial fishers want to know what's going on in the environment. Expanding oil drilling in the Gulf. Remember the explosion at the Deepwater Horizon? Drooled millions of gallons of crude oil for months because there was no plan for that kind of emergency. Same for the Arctic. Why on earth would anyone be promoting energy-consuming resource extraction right in the place where planet warming is increasing faster than anywhere else in the world? Huge cuts to basic services while still growing the debt, threatening the health of residents, truly tragic. It makes me want to tell all the young people, I'm really sorry.
The reason for all these cuts is simply to transfer the wealth of the nation from the middle class, the working class people, to the 1%, to the billionaires. As soon as services started to go, we saw how it affects so many people in our population. The services that the federal government provides, they provide for everybody. So it's a huge loss, and it's not just the myth that there's, the bureaucrats in the federal government are really wasting our taxpayer money. No, we can't do without these services. And one of the lessons that I learned from the
LA protests is we may disagree on the details of immigration policy, but we agree that we don't want the president deploying troops in our cities and against our people, detaining them without due process. We disagree on the details of free speech, but we know when a U.S. senator gets up and asks the questions, that's not grounds for rough treatment and handcuffing and arrest. We can stand up and have an impact on the growing authoritarianism. We're seeing that standing up has stopped the raids in California on farms, hotels, and restaurants, tariffs from being enforced, the funding cuts, the president's attempt to remove his immunity from contempt citations has been removed from that bill because people are standing up against it. We've seen that people standing up have brought back Albrega Garcia from his detention in El Salvador. So get involved locally with our local government, attend assembly meetings, attend budget hearings, and make sure the nonprofits get funding. And we can do that because we, as a small community, we can get together in solidarity with other small communities. We need to contact our assembly members. We need to get out and vote, and we need to run for office. That's what makes us strong, and that's what gives us the power.
The Senate is days away from passing the reconciliation bill that includes an $800 billion cut to Medicaid and a $300 billion cut to food benefits. 250,000 Alaskans rely on Medicaid for their health care. Senator Murkowski understands how important those federal programs are to Alaskans, but she needs us to call her and let her know that we support her and that we really want her to vote against the reconciliation bill. Go straight to her website. There's a form where you write an email, or you can put her phone number in your phone right now and call right now or call in a minute when you're walking away. You can just pop it in there right now. It's 202-224-6665.
And let's hire a young person who's a good organizer, and I think there are a lot of them in town, and let's get things done. We can't just always rely on my generation. Still will need the volunteers, but we can't do it without a savvy person who can coordinate it, which is not that hard to do. I did it when I was 26. And we won in many ways. Woo!
Following up with that, I especially thank the younger people I see out here today because like Carol just mentioned, a lot of us we're getting up there and it's a lot of work, and so we're ready to help pass the baton and also help you when you are ready to step up and help take this over.
Hi, I'm Mayor Tom Morfitt. Those of you who don't know, we won some victories here this spring. That happened because people showed up at meetings and demanded it. There's an expression, power seeds nothing without a demand. You have to go down there to City Hall. It's the first time in 25 years there's no funding for a nonprofit grant program. You all know how much work the nonprofits do, how much sweat and blood and free labor gets donated to this community. It was a slap in the face to every nonprofit and to all you that work for the betterment of the community that this assembly left nothing in that budget. So I encourage you to all go down and speak forcefully and politely and look them right in the eye and tell them that you want your assembly to support this town. That's what we do. And if they won't, we'll show them to the door. Thank you.
Woo!
Back when they were saying that the DMV here was going to be shut down, I was really upset about that. So I got some teachers to join me for popcorn and postcards, and they came up to my room, and this was after school hours. And we ate popcorn and we wrote postcards to say we want our DMV. I also put up postcards with little signs with information about why we need to keep it at all the bulletin boards that people who don't go on Facebook like me get their information about what's happening in town. So it can be something small where you're just giving someone a little bit of information, but it all does add up. So it's nice to see you all here.
That canceling FEMA really hurts.
but I'm still struggling and still trying to find a home and still trying to survive almost 5 years later. So them canceling this, it kills all of us. So thank you so much, all of you, each one of you, for showing up. Thank you.
These rules that allow unlimited money to come into campaigns from anywhere means that Nick Begich and Dan Sullivan don't have to raise a penny in Alaska. They get all the money they need. When you see Dan Sullivan talking about liberal justices, liberal judges in Alaska, which we elect our judges. He's lined up on the Fox News talking points for the Musk cash and all that stuff. So we have to turn that around someday. Someday we'll be able to do that.
If anyone is interested in buying an eSIM for someone in Gaza, there's a website called connecting-humanity.com. You don't know if people are going to get it or not because they have really limited access already to internet. And it's more likely that they'll get it if you send it than if no one sends anything. So I think it's always just a bit of hope and a bit of faith that it'll make its way to someone eventually. Thank you.
Events like this that energize us, that move us forward, and we have no choice but to move forward. So put your energy in there, and thanks for coming today.